Filmmaker Commentary, episode 167. Welcome to Filmmaker Commentary, where we cover movies with commentaries from directors who take the time to record them on Blu-ray and DVDs.
We also give our detailed insights, so look out for spoilers.
We discuss the latest in showbiz news along with movies and TV shows that we've been watching.
So join Reginald Titus Jr.
That's me. And KCG Smith.
That's me. Every week here on Filmmaker Commentary.
Yo, welcome to another episode of Filmmaker Commentary. I'm Reginald Titus Jr. I'm joined with
KCG Smith.
Welcome back, sir.
Good to be back, sir.
And today we're talking about Pearl, directed by Ty West, 2022. Written, directed, co-written, directed, and produced by Ty West.
Yes, sir.
Came out 2022. What was the box office and the budget for this film?
So Pearl, as it dropped on us in 2022, had a budget of $3.1 million and ended up clearing at the global box office a total of $9.4 million dollar bills, y'all. That's a win. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And for those that may not know, Pearl is the prequel to 1X that we covered last episode.
Yeah, on the cover it says an extraordinary origin story. You got like the X, I guess that's the whole theme there.
There you go.
Did this win any awards, or what were people saying at the time about this film?
So Pearl won some just small kind of local awards, like local film societies. Like there's one in Boston, the Boston Society of Film Critic Awards. It won the Best Cinematography by Elliot Rocket. The Movie Music UK Awards, it won for Best Score for a fantasy sci-fi horror film for one Tyler Bates and Tim Williams. The Hawaii Films Critic for Best Actress by Mia Goth and Best Horror Film. So yeah, mainly smaller organizations recognized it, but it seemed to have a nice amount of buzz because, again, I heard about and saw the trailer for Pearl before I saw anything for X, which of course came out before. But it seems to have a nice following. Now people are excited because you informed me last week that there's going to be a third film,
right?
And it's now going to be a trilogy that will, of course, follow. But now we're going the opposite direction. We're going towards the quote unquote future, as we look to Maxine. Yeah. With, of course, three X's.
Triple X.
So, but yeah, so it seems to be well received, and I think people are excited to see these different kind of takes on the horror slasher genre, and what the combination of what, Ty West and Mia Goth are able to accomplish. So I'm in.
Yeah, sign up for that for sure. And just the marketing, it's been great. Seeing just Mia on the front cover of X, and she looks like her character. She looks like a completely different woman as Pearl. I mean, she is, of course, but it's the same person. Like Michael Douglas or Bruce Willis can't do that. They're like the same character.
And there is something about it. When I first saw the trailer for Pearl, I was like, what is this? Like, it looked dark but creepy, but I was still intrigued, and it is because it's pulling in that Technicolor, old Hollywood vibe.
Yeah. So it's inviting. The cover of this film, it makes you want to purchase it. Like I saw the Blu-ray for X at Walmart. I was like, what is this? This lady looking at me with her overalls on X, you know what I mean? But it's like kind of more seductive. And then you look at this one, it's the same woman, but her hands are bloody. She's got this axe. You're like, dang, I want to purchase it. It's like,
but there's something, blood aside, there's something off about her. You're like, what's going on? There's something about Mia Goth that's just slightly, she's attractive, but it's like there's something
slightly
within character. I'm not talking about her as a person, but as a portrayal of Pearl. You're like, there's something off here. Yeah, I can't quite put my finger on it. If I did, I might lose it. But there's something not quite right.
What did I do wrong?
Are you scared of me? People try to be polite. What does it say? Yes. I mean, we're getting the spoil. We'll talk more. You can say we're a little excited to talk about this. It's a good film.
Yeah.
Hell.
But before we talk further about Pearl, let's talk about TV, news, and movies. Why?
So according to Variety, box office Scream 6 scares up franchise best with $44 million debut.
Ooh, man, I wanted to watch that one. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Scream 6 collected at $44.5 million in its opening weekend. A scary good start for Paramount and Spyglass Media's long-running slasher series. Those ticket sales were enough to top domestic box office charts over the two newcomers, Sony's prehistoric 65 and the heartwarming comedy Champions, as well as last week's victor, Creed 3. So yeah, some good stuff happening at the box office. And yeah, Scream 6 coming in with its best opening
nice
to date, which is impressive.
It's like it's built up. It built back up. That is impressive.
I think, again, of course, for y'all who are maybe new to Filmmaker Commentary, we've covered the Scream films.
Yes.
All of them. Please go back and give a listen to the episodes. Spotify, SoundCloud, Stitcher Radio, iTunes, and so on.
Yeah.
But the last one we covered, Scream 5, introduced new blood. In the form of one Jenna Ortega,
literally,
yes, and also Melissa Barrera, and it jolted new energy into the franchise.
Yeah,
and that still holds true. I actually had the pleasure of seeing Scream 6 this weekend.
I'm jealous.
You should be. No, just kidding. No, it's I did enjoy it for sure.
When we saw the first one, Scream 5, and before I knew who Ortega was. And seeing like just her character, I'm like, who is this? Yeah, who is this young lady? Like she steals it. Like, man, and she has this curdling cry. Apparently, she's been acting for a very long time
since she was 8.
Yeah, so it was like, okay, she's a vet, and so
she's blowing up right now. Right now, it's her and Jonathan Majors. Like they are,
they're peaking,
and they're both in both films that I saw this weekend. I saw Creed 3 as well, and doing their things. Yeah. And actually, I watched Jenna host SNL. What? She hosted SNL this weekend. And she can do it all. She can do comedy. She can, and it was actually a pretty funny episode of SNL. There's a road trip sketch that skit that was pretty funny. but also while she was hosting it, she talked to everybody how long she's been acting, and they showed a clip from her very first commercial.
A little girl.
Yeah, it was like a toothpaste commercial, a Colgate toothpaste commercial.
She's a vet, bro.
Yes, she is. But that's what's going on in the news. What have you been watching, Reginald?
So last time I talked about Ozark. Ozark is one of those shows that people have been telling me about. I've been from different walks of life. People have been telling me about Ozark. I'm like, it looks, you look at it like, it's desaturated. It's kind of blues. Like, I don't know. It's got Jason Bateman.
Yes, sir.
Got him in it. He kind of plays a straight guy, whatever. Usually that's his thing. But this character's a little different. I'm like, I don't know. And then just finally decided to dive in. I was like, okay, now is the time. Let's go ahead and dive in. And me and my wife, we're in the rabbit hole of Ozark world.
How many episodes in? How many seasons in?
We're on season 3 now.
Holy smokes.
And each episode's like 50 minutes, something like that. So
that's a wrap.
It's a commitment. And it has the same style as House of Cards. So if y'all watched House of Cards back in the day, same thing. So it's got more.
Now it went what, 4 or 5 seasons?
House of Cards?
No, Ozarks.
It's on 4, I believe. I think it's at 4, and I don't know anything about season 4 or anything like that. So I don't know if it's closed off, if there's anything coming back, if everybody gets the nick. I don't know. But I call this genre sophisticated debauchery.
Oh, the SB.
Yeah.
SD, the SD category.
Well, you have your upper middle class white, and it comes off as they're living the straight narrow path, America, and then you discover there's more to their success. We saw it in House of Cards, and we see that here in Ozark, and I was like, oh man, I could see why the whole country is kind of talking about this.
There's a way that they got there,
man. Yeah. So anyhow, I definitely would recommend it. Everything that's in House of Cards is in this film. Yeah.
Okay.
All the sins are covered.
So pick your pecado. Yes. We've got them all.
Absolutely.
So one thing I want to mention before I dive into some things that I've been watching, I mentioned a couple of trailers.
Yes.
That I had the privilege of being privy to while at the theater. So one was for Evil Dead Rise.
What?
Bro. You know, obviously we cover horror here time to time on film commentary, and we have specifically covered Evil Dead.
Yeah.
And Evil Dead 2. This trailer, dude, I was like, no. I will not be watching this.
See? You can tell by the trailer.
No, here's the thing.
Oh.
Very well done.
Oh, for different reasons.
Scary as hell.
Really?
Yeah. Like, this is not Sam Raimi. There's no comic relief in this. There's no slapstick. This is, oh my God. I was like, oh, no.
Directed by Satan.
Yeah, somebody,
it's Evil Dead Rise?
Evil Dead Rise. It's, bro, yeah. You look up the trailer for yourself. I was like, oh no, this is my word.
Yeah.
I'm no.
Yeah.
No.
Some things you can just tell.
Bro, it was disturbing. Wow. It was disturbing.
That's hard to do these days too. You got to be tapped into a certain kind of energy to pull it off, I believe, these days.
Well, they were
to scare grown folks.
They were siphoning that energy, and it was prevalent on screen. So yeah, Evil Dead Rise. Woof, scary. Then there was a trailer for I'd seen before, but it played again. It's called for The Blackening. I think have you seen that trailer?
The Blackening.
The Blackening.
I don't know.
So this one seems to take.
I don't think so.
It initially starts off and it kind of has vibes of our man Jordan Peele vibes almost. Okay. But it's like a comedy though, and it's several black people. They're on this vacation together, and they're in a location, and all of a sudden they come across a game called The Blackening. They open it up, and it's got like jigaboo imagery, and they're like, "What the hell is this?" and all that.
Whoa!
And then as they start to play, all of a sudden a video pops up, and this guy's like, "If y'all don't play the game, so and so is going to get killed," and one of their friends has been captured and tied up, and so now they have to go for this. Yeah, and there's all kinds of tropes. It looks entertaining. It looks funny, but it's dealing obviously with a bunch of tropes in horror and black people in horror. But yeah, The Blackening. Also, I saw a trailer for another reboot of Haunted Mansion. This one has Rosario Dawson in it, Lakeith Stanfield. It looked okay. Haunted Mansion's never really been my thing. It looked
that was one with Eddie Murphy, right? Yeah.
It's okay. Then, of course, the one they've been seeing a lot of commercials and trailers for this one, but Air. Starring
yes, Affleck.
Yeah, Ben Affleck, and then starring I'm blanking on his name. I'm seeing his face.
Is Viola Davis in that one?
Yeah, she's playing like Michael Jordan's mother in that one. And also, the main star of it is our Ben Affleck's like best buddy. Damon.
Oh, Matt Damon.
Matt Damon, yeah. So yeah, Matt Damon. And also again your guy Jason Bateman. He's in it as well. It looks good. Like, and the more I see it, I'm like, yeah, I want to kind of check this out.
Yeah.
But they're definitely going for Oscar vibes with that one. I can just tell the way it's structured. I'm like, okay, they're trying to go for that Oscar.
Man, so the company. Michael Jordan built $1 billion company out of nothing.
And the whole trailer gives you that impression because Nike was struggling. Like struggling bad, and they banked everything on a rookie. Made it a shoe before he even played
the house that Jordan built.
No doubt.
They say that with Miramax, like the house that Tarantino built, like they have their like key people. They're like, whatever you want to do, you get the green light, because without you, no billion.
Well, that's cool. Like when you can get that respect, some respect on their name, man. And when they deliver. And both these guys, they definitely have delivered in their careers.
Absolutely.
And then the last trailer is one with Jennifer Lawrence, and it's a comedy. It's called No Hard Feelings. It looks hilarious. It's basically Jennifer Lawrence. She's kind of a bit of a sex positive, let's call it. A sex positive person.
What does that mean?
She likes to have sex.
Oh, nympho. Is that negative?
Possibly. Maybe you can say she's a nymphomaniac, but yeah, she's a very active, sexually active person. That actually came up in Scream. Like somebody said that. Oh, they said you're a they called her this one girl a whore or slut or whatever. She's like sex positive. I was like, oh, that's okay. So literally just regurgitating that. But anyway, Jennifer Lawrence is very active, and she's got no she's an Uber driver but has no car. She's just like got some weird life choices going on. When she sees an ad to date some young guy, the parents put this ad out there, like, you know, because he's super introverted, and you date our son and we'll, you know, give you a Buick, some kind of vehicle or whatever. So she tries to do that. But this kid is so introverted, and all of her wily tricks aren't working on him. And it's just chaos ensuing throughout. But the trailer, it's hilarious. I've seen it twice, and both times, I was pretty much dying laughing.
When's it drop, or is it just a summer thing?
I don't remember the date. I don't
Okay.
remember the release date, but it's coming out this year in the next couple of months.
Okay.
No hard feelings. Yes, sir. But those are my trailers.
One more film I've watched. Watched this with the family. Last Friday. Of course, it's our horror day. Chucky 2.
Oh, I haven't seen that one in a long time.
I kind of forgot like some of the stuff. Like, I don't remember some of this, because you just kind of remember some of the set pieces, like the main set pieces. Everything goes down at the warehouse.
I wouldn't have remembered. It's been at least 20 years.
It's been a while.
More than that, probably 30 years since I've seen Chucky 2.
So we've seen the first Chucky, of course. This was probably a couple months ago or a month ago. So we saw the first Chucky. No, like about 3 weeks ago. Saw the first Chucky, and I'd never seen the first Chucky. Like, I started out with
remake.
Chucky 2. Yeah. So, I mean, because with Chucky 2, you can kind of dive into that world.
Right.
So I remember when that one came out. We watched 2 and 3 over and over again. So I was like, I saw Chucky, the first one, for the first time a few weeks ago. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, so when we covered Child's Play, the remake, you hadn't seen the original yet. Still, I forgot about that.
Yeah. So it was hilarious. Chucky 2 is funny.
Okay.
Because in that one, that's when they had a little bit more budget, and then they had the puppeteering where they can actually make the faces and stuff, like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff going on.
Right.
And he had way more dialogue, like just funny dialogue. So like there's this one scene where they rebuild Chucky. The manufacturer rebuilt Chucky because of all the stuff that went down.
The good guy.
They rebuild him. And so all these good guys have different names. Like, hey, my name's Tommy. I'm Danny. I'm Bobby. Like, that's all, like, their different names. And so,
Charles Lee Ray.
Yes. And so he makes his way back to where Andy's new foster home is. And there's another good guy doll there. And he said, hey, my name is Tommy. So Chucky gets this doll and like just like bludgeons it, and then like in the backyard is like dark, and he's like digging it what you call it for him,
a grave.
It's for the doll.
What?
And then it's funny because he's like, the dirt like falls on the face. You can see the close up of the dirt go on his face, and he's eat dirt, Tommy, and then he puts on more dirt on his face. Kids were just dying laughing when he was doing that.
That's crazy.
Oh man, that was a good time.
Though the kids, they enjoyed it though.
Yeah, they're not scared anymore.
All right, that's cool.
They're scared if I buy them a doll though, because I still threaten them with that. I was like, hey, you know, I'm gonna buy a Chucky doll, and so they're like adamant, no.
Dude, well, my best friend, he's the same way. He was like, if I were to ever see a Chucky doll on my doorstep, I would freak out. And I'm like, where can I find a Chucky doll?
Oh, they're available. So I'm like, what I was thinking about doing, maybe the oldest one I might do them like that. I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna do it.
Oh,
and like just kind of sneak in the room and just like plot it there.
Just have it there.
So when they wake up, it's sitting.
Oh my gosh! Dad! Oh man! That would be either hilarious or traumatizing.
Yes.
You may want to look up some inexpensive therapy just in case.
Yeah, just in case. I might have to get them on that one.
Oh man,
that would be great.
I've been figuring out. I bet you look up some YouTube videos where people have done that to people. Like they somehow put. Like I saw a Instagram clip of some guy. He had placed almost like a table tray on his bed. Or a chair, maybe it was a chair, but it was something where he could lay on top of it, and then he put the sheets over himself, so it looked like he was like floating out of bed, and his girlfriend or wife is laying next to him, and the camera is a little further back from them, where she's close to the camera, but you see him just kind of elevated, and his arms are kind of laying down towards the sheets, and he just starts moaning. He's like, and then all of a sudden she wakes up and she just starts like praying over, like, I don't know what language she's praying in, but she just starts praying over, trying to like cast out this spirit. She's like, and she's like, you're not gonna take him. You're not gonna take him. But
that's awesome.
Somebody put in the comments, her love for him was real.
That's real.
It was pretty hilarious. But I've also been watching again. I mentioned I saw Scream 6.
Yeah.
And quite enjoyable. Mm-hmm. It all still works.
Okay.
We get a character that returns.
The twins. Did the twins return?
Yeah, like almost like all the main. Okay. The main ones from the previous one, they're all back in this one.
Perfect. So, I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, man, definitely worth checking out. Also, I saw Creed 3, Michael B. Jordan's directorial debut, Creed 3. And that it also hits. I before I went in, I rewatched Creed 1 and about 90% of Creed 2 going into it, so I could kind of just be re-up on it. And man, as always, man, Jonathan Majors is always bringing it. And Michael B. Jordan, obviously he's great. Tessa Thompson is great, but there's a little girl. I think her name is Maya, but she's deaf. Because if you remember at the end of in the second Creed, right, their child is born and she has some hearing impairments.
That's genetic from her mom,
right? But their daughter, she's completely deaf.
Yeah,
and so they're using sign language and they're signing with her the whole film.
That's different.
It is. It's beautiful though, because I mean, I
human.
Yeah, and I studied ASL in high school. I still remember a lot of it. So I love when I see sign language in a film. It hits me a certain kind of way. But they're communicating. It's quite awesome, and just the backstory and the dynamic between Creed and Damien.
How does it feel to be me?
But one of my I'm not gonna give anything away.
No spoilers.
All I'll say is this: that is when, because obviously we know they're gonna fight, right? At the end of the movie, right? That's the lead up. But
that's Rocky fashion.
I'll just say this: you will appreciate the song that Damien comes out to when he comes into the ring. Like, all
right,
yeah, you'll appreciate it.
All right,
yes, sir. But yeah, Creed 3, Scream 6, digging them. And I'm still also burning through Yellowstone. I watched a couple more episodes of that. That is living up to its reputation. Tulsa King is still one of my favorite shows that I've watched. Stallone and Tulsa King. Yeah, it's one of my favorite shows. And that's kind of it. I've hadn't much time for too much else this week. And still still doing The Mandalorian, Abbott Elementary. Again, that's I always whenever a new episode is up, I always watch that. Yeah, all that's still doing its thing.
And today's show was sponsored by
Natural Hair, the movie by Grind Over Matter Films, available to stream on Tubi as well as on Roku, the Roku channel on demand. Please check it out and leave a review.
And now let's jump back into the show. Thank you for tuning in, Filmmaker Commentary. We're talking about Pearl, 2022, co-written, produced, and directed by Ty West, distributed by A24. And I also see Lionsgate on here. Now, let's jump into the synopsis. Trapped on her family's isolated farm, Pearl must tend to her ailing father under the bitter and overbearing watch of her devout mother. Lusting for a glamorous life like she's seen in the movies, Pearl's ambitions, temptations, and repressions all collide. Pearl, an extraordinary origin story.
And if this is your origin story or first time listening to Filmmaker Commentary, please know that there will be spoilers. You've been forewarned.
Jumping right into it. You want to present our cast?
Yes. So, the cast of Pearl consists of 1 Mia Goth as Pearl, 1 David Corenswet as the projectionist, Tandy Wright as Ruth, who I believe played the mother. Yes, that was the mother. Matthew Sunderland as father. Emma Jenkins Puro as Misty. Alistair Sewell as Howard. And Amelia Reed as Margaret.
Okay.
Those are okay. I'll name the there's 4 other people who don't even have IMDb profiles but pictures. But there's Gabe McDonald, who plays woman, and Lauren Stewart, who was the pianist, I guess in the church scene.
Okay, yeah, they had dialogue.
Todd Rippon, who is the director, and Grace Atchison as the ticket taker. That's how we have listed on IMDb for Pearl.
I can dig it. How did you watch this film?
Watched it on Blu-ray yesterday. Yeah. First time.
Okay.
How about you, sir?
Same. I watched it today. I tried watching it. I got it on Blu-ray. I just went on and purchased it. Went to Walmart and it was there. I was like, wow, they are selling this thing like hotcakes.
Yeah, I ordered mine off Amazon.
Yeah, I watched it on Blu-ray. I tried watching it last night, but I was like, my brain couldn't do it. I was too tired. I was like, yeah, it's not going to be a good experience. Turn this off. So I finished it up today. And overall good. I think I like X better.
Agreed.
But this, I see what they're doing. It's like a little magic trick. Like, hey, we're here. We got the house. We might as well make another movie. So that's what it feels like. And they look like they're having fun with it. So yeah, but still entertaining nonetheless. What did you like or not like about the film?
I did like. I like the performances. I like the dialogue. Some of the things that are said, especially some of the. There's 2 like long takes. One with the mother, when she's talking about having to take care of the dad, and then at the end with Pearl when she's closing her eyes and talking about how she feels about life, and she's talking to Ruth. Like that. That was a hell of a long take.
It was a monologue like crazy.
I was like, wow, it was impressive because there was no like break. There was one like early break where it cut back to Ruth, but then it just stayed on Pearl. I was like, whoa. So. Yeah, and just some of the techniques and kind of nostalgia and emulation of that period of filmmaking is pretty cool.
Yeah, for me, I like how concise it is. It's kind of same thing with X. It's like there's not too much fluff in it. It's like we're getting straight to the point, and we're not going to force you to stay with us. We're going to end this thing.
That's true,
and so I can appreciate that.
I can appreciate like there's a little bit of humor in it, and obviously we always cover tropes on here, but like they're those tropes are definitely there, and but yeah, there's like some tongue-in-cheek kind of humor in it, and now like knowing who Pearl becomes and seeing her at this age, at this younger age, like there's some of that came across as funny to me. Not like in a bad way, but I just it's kind of, I don't feel like you're in on a joke a little bit, but it's a little ridiculous. Like, oh, this girl is wild.
Yeah, she's off.
Oh yeah.
So this, as far as the special features, there was no commentary. We didn't have any commentary on this one. Did you like watch any special features or like any like kind of interviews with Ty West or Mia?
Yes, I watched the 2 special features that are on the Blu-ray. It's pretty quick. There is one that's about 11 minutes long, and it's simply called "Coming Out of Her Shell: The Creation of Pearl." And then there is the Time After Time featurette, which is, God, what was that one? I think that one might be just like
maybe 5 minutes, maybe.
Yeah,
seemed kind of short.
Yeah, but that one was quick. But the 11-minute one was worthwhile. It gave some nice little insights. And then I watched a couple of interviews with Ty West and with Mia Goth, just them talking about how it all came together. And just different people, just about 3 different interviews that I watched that were on YouTube. They weren't included on the Blu-ray. These were outside sources. But yeah, that was about it.
Same. I think I watched the Creation of Pearl. That's the feature I saw on the Blu-ray. And then while driving here, I was just listening to an interview on YouTube. It was like a podcast, and they were actually interviewing him, like the Zoom call.
It was with the lady?
Yeah.
Was she asking some kind of redundant questions?
Yeah.
I was like, are you listening to the answers? Because one lady was like, well, what would you have done if the collaboration didn't work out with me? And he's like, well, I would have not done it because she is Pearl.
Yeah, that's the one I did watch.
And I'm like, well, did you have a backup plan? No, we did this because Mia is Pearl. And it's like, I was like, why are you, I got kind of annoyed by that. I'm like, you're asking the same questions, but in a different way. Like, you're not listening to his answers. Like,
you're just on to the next one. Like,
was this your plan the whole time? No, we did this because Mia Goth is Pearl, and as we worked on and developed X, we decided that, hey, why don't we give this a shot? So
Do a little research, people.
Yeah.
But
or
you can
just
tell
listen to the answers,
and you can kind of tell. Listen to some of these interviews, like podcasters or people that are, whatever. They're journalists or media, so-called journalists or whatever. They may not be too. They're not used to interviewing people in that way, and so they seem unprepared, or they're just throwing crap out there.
Yeah, this was one of the most glaring ones. I was like, man, she's asking, like, she's not paying attention to his answers. She's just waiting to ask her next question. Nonetheless, though, it was Ty is he seems like a genuinely nice guy, and at least very professional and accommodating. And I always like seeing when there could be collaborations between people for future projects. And obviously with him and Mia, they got a good thing going with this. Yeah, the Pearl trilogy, I don't know, or the X trilogy, I guess maybe it'll be called.
An extraordinary trilogy.
An extraordinary trilogy. There you go. What'd you like or dislike?
Primarily, I like the short. Again, I like how it was short. It's to the point, digestible, and I can appreciate the style of it. Mm-hmm. It's different from X, even though I like that style more. It feels a little bit more grounded. This one feels more satirical in a way.
Yeah.
But I can appreciate it for what it is.
It feels like the heightened reality.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even like with the music and the score and everything. I mean, they totally leaned into it. Mm-hmm. And even the graphics that they use throughout, and even with some of the special features kind of have some of those graphics at work. I think at the end of that first featurette, that when they put up the name of the company that produced it, it was like, I was like, okay, how is that?
It's like at a diagonal and it kind of goes up across the screen.
Yeah,
unfolds across the screen.
I'm like, they're sticking with this.
It reminds me of when Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino, when they were doing the Grindhouse films, specifically Planet Terror, and how they were presenting the text and all that. That's what it reminds me of big time.
Yeah, really just capturing that era and all the kind of the visual tricks, visual language that they used.
What type of tone do you think it was tight, kind of tapping into?
I said old Hollywood, Wizard of Oz, and pandemic vibes.
Yeah, for sure. The pandemic, because like the American audience isn't used to anything kind of pandemic as currently. Yeah, not before the actual pandemic 2020. So we like when we see other countries that have the mask on, we're like, is it that that serious?
Is it really that big of a deal?
Right, we're just ignorant, and so it's. But after living through.
You gonna learn today?
Yeah, after living
you gonna learn today what the pandemic is,
right? And so now you can actually, without living through a pandemic, I think we'll be more detached to this film. But now that we live through a pandemic, when they have the mask on and we see her dad sick from, the elements that's going on, and you're like, we can kind of relate now,
And I think and you could tell they made this during the pandemic, right, where they said right in the height of it, and so they incorporated that in. I thought that was that's pretty smart.
Yeah, they pretty got smart. The mask on, and he's like, it's a pandemic. It's like, oh, it is.
Yeah,
even though it's 1918 in this film.
Well, I mean, when did the Spanish flu? When was that taking place?
Well, I'm assuming it was around this time. So this is 1918, and so that's the period this takes place. So. That's what I'm assuming that's happening.
Yeah, I was thinking this may be the Spanish flu, but yeah, man.
So that's awesome. Also I like how they opened when they like how he did the push through. Ty West did the push through from the barn, and we think it's in like a 4:3 aspect ratio, and it pushes out in 2 wide. It's like, oh, it's kind of paying homage to like the older films. But in this one, he does the same push out, but we're already in the wide frame, but it's just a different feel, and it's like very beautiful. Like, so like the vibe that you think is going to be a different film than a horror film just from the color grade.
Oh yeah. It starts off lively and bright and it goes dark. Just like X starts off like a kind of grounded 70s, fun feature and goes, becomes horror. I mean, they start off kind of emulating their time, that decade, that period. And just twist it on you. So, I do like, again, with that opening credits, like right as it shows the title of Pearl, right as she's stabbed this goose and is literally flicking it into the alligator's mouth. It's like Pearl. I was like,
Like the freeze frame.
Yeah, I'm like, that's cool. I don't know why I was like, that is really cool. And then at the very end, when it's, credits are rolling and she's just there smiling.
Yeah.
And holding that smile.
I was going to put that as far as my memorable scenes.
Tears coming out. I was like,
so so basically incredible. What happened? So might as well build that scene up. So like in that scene, her dead parents are at the table.
Yeah.
They've been
and rotting pig.
The pig's been out there for at least a couple weeks.
It's disgusting. Totally disgusting.
And she puts it on the table with all the other crap and her decomposing parents. Yeah. Then she thinks she assumed her husband was coming back, but at one point she kind of lost faith in that. Mm-hmm. Husband comes back from the war. He's like, hey, and she's like, glad. Well, I don't know what the line was, but I'm glad you're back, honey, or something like that.
Yeah, we're gonna make a good life together, and we'll live here forever, or whatever, and I'll be the best wife that I can be.
So she, like, hey, welcome back, basically, and she's smiling, and it's this fake, weird, demonic smile.
It's awkward, and she just holds it, which normally they could freeze frame on that, but Ty West asked her to. We're gonna just try something. Just hold that smile as long as you can.
Yeah,
and it was about 3 minutes of her holding that, and it's not only awkward because we know all the horrible things she's done at this point.
Yeah,
and she's just holding it and holding it. And we're waiting for her to break, and she's not blinking either. That's the other thing. I was like, she's not blinking.
Yeah,
and just holding the smile.
And then the tears come down from her eyes.
God, her eyes are watering. It's awkward as hell. Like you feel it makes you uncomfortable. You're like,
and then poor Howard just came in and he's horrified. He's like, I'm worried to see my wife and get me some. But
I've got questions. I've got questions at the end, but I'll save them for that section.
Yes, indeed. So that scene is Anywho,
heck of a way to end.
The music. I should have looked up who did the music.
Tyler Bates and somebody Williams, because remember they mentioned they won some awards for their work.
So they had a 60-piece orchestral score, and it does have that feeling of like the old Hollywood. It's like, man, it was like 85 minutes of music that they composed to this movie. Like, wow, this is well done.
It brings the rise and on the falls, all that. Yeah, it is on it, man.
It's funny when she's riding into town, looking like Mary Poppins, and the music that's kind of playing along. I was like, that looks like Mary Poppins. Like, I thought that.
See, I get straight Wizard of Oz, Wicked Witch of the West, or the woman who is also plays the Wicked Witch, because when she's riding on that bike, like that's straight up the vibes I get every time. Like,
And I saw it, I was like, from a visual reference, like seeing her on that tall bike, and then that hat that's so tall, and then Ty West says, hey, that was a Mary Poppins thing, and then another one that he referenced on it, so he actually referenced Mary Poppins. So I was like, that's what I got from it. But there's the music that follows Peril. It reminds me of like Jaws, when she's like when she's on her way going somewhere, like yep, we should be afraid of this one.
Absolutely. I'm afraid something's not right with me. Like, I don't have something that everybody else has.
She and people say that I'm not well. I'm not well. Like, they said it several times in X, and I think Howard said it about her in the first film. That I think her mom said something, and she said it about herself. I'm like, yeah, that line keeps appearing. She's not well, everybody. What kind of style do you think they were going for? I know we kind of touched it a little bit with kind of like tone.
Yeah, again, old Hollywood Technicolor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's digital. When I was looking at some of the behind the scenes stuff, the camera looked kind of small. I wonder if it was shot with the ivory or the red, but it looked like a small footprint.
Let's see here.
From an editing standpoint, because I know he edits his films too, the split screen, you see the split screen again, like as he's shooting two sequences and he puts those together, specifically when Pearl, I think she's putting together the meal. I forgot what she's doing in her red dress, but that's when he does a little split screen.
Right. He did utilize that once. I don't know what it was showing. It's not showing it here in IMDb, at least.
No worries.
Sound mix is Dolby Atmos. That's
boom. Do you have anything as far as like style?
Not particularly. Again, that it's just trying to emulate the past and really make it feel like that old time classic Hollywood to give you that vibe with a character that's so like dark and broken. This is like she's like a broken Dorothy.
Yeah.
It's
broken Dorothy, absolutely. What kind of themes did you pull from this film?
Oh boy. Thematically speaking, I had themes of I'm special.
Man.
Fantasy, jealousy, malice, rot, and self-fulfilling prophecy.
True. I just had like a death. Like death just follows this poor child. Like it starts out with, "Hey, Mr. Goose," stab. She stabs the goose in the barn
like
and feeds it to an alligator. I'm like, ooh,
yeah.
This pitchfork's going.
And it's weird because, like, when you think about like the kind of classic good pure characters, they always have a relationship with animals.
Yeah.
You've got Cinderella singing and birds coming and landing on her hands and fingers, and
true.
Yeah, and you have Dorothy singing somewhere over the rainbow, and she's talking to the animals on the farm.
Toto.
Right, Toto. Yeah, of course. Like she and Mia, I mean not Mia, but Pearl has a cow.
Yeah.
Stop looking at me like that when she.
The cow was like, all right.
And the cow's like, like it's like she's got this. She's closest almost to the alligator that she feeds the goose to. It's like, you are not right.
She's not well.
But at the same time, it's weird because you kind of root for her. Even when it gets up to the point of her going and do this big audition, you don't really want her to fail.
Because you don't want people to die because of her anger.
Maybe that's it. You're like, because it's like, if it goes bad for her, everybody's screwed.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like if she goes down, she's taking all of us with her.
I have to win.
Next.
It's like just
excuse me. Woo. That the tension on that scene played out quite lovely.
Yeah.
Because you knew as much as we didn't want to fail, we already knew because it's a prequel that she did fail. And it was just a matter of, okay, are these judges going to be, are they going to survive? Or is she going to flip out and somehow murk all of them?
Dang.
Oh boy. But yeah, those, you meant.
That's a death. Yeah, death. That's pretty much.
It's the overarching. That's probably for the whole trilogy. It's like
it just follows her.
Death.
Do you have like any favorite scenes or memorable scenes?
I do have a few. Okay.
Got the close up of the chopping up bodies all of a sudden, like just the people that it was the projectionist that she killed. She starts chopping up the body, and then her friend, was it Ruth that she killed? Or her sister-in-law.
Misty.
It was Misty that she killed and chopped up the body, the close-ups, and then she's feeding it to the alligator. I'm like, dang.
Like so by that point I was like, oh, we're getting off with like, this hasn't been too gory.
Yeah.
I was like, there's been a little blood. I was like, oh, this has been pretty tame. In the end, I was like, oh, they got me. I was like, okay. And
axe to the back.
I was like, yeah. Like when they showed her like chop, I was like, oh, okay, there it is. There it is. Like that was I got a little shocked by that. I was like, man, they got me. When she is, she's coming back from town. She's met the projectionist, and he gave her a little, clip of the film, and she's got it in her overall pocket, and it blows away into the cornfield, right. And she stops, drops the bike, and goes off the cornfield. Like, I'm like, you are not going to find that little bit of celluloid. Like, this is not. But she goes looking for it, and then she's deep off in these really high corn stalks. I'm like, how are you going to find your way out of there? And then all of a sudden she finds herself in an open field space where there's a scarecrow.
Yeah.
And she proceeds, and it's one of the creepiest looking scarecrows. Like, I was just waiting for the eyes to open because it seemed like this is a scarecrow with closed eyes.
Yeah.
And she climbs up this pole, the scarecrow, and she's like, I'll accept this dance. And she throws the scarecrow's body to the ground and climbs down. And for whatever reason, like, she dances with the scarecrow at first. Yeah. She's dancing with this scarecrow body. And at one point, the head seems to change to the projectionist's head, and she's like, "I'm married," like trying to turn down the advances of the scarecrow. And then she ends up throwing it to the ground, and then she walks back over to it. And again, like this, the head on this thing, I'm just waiting for the eyes to pop open.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy.
I'm like, this is really creepy. And then she straddles the scarecrow, and proceeds to stroke the Scarecrow's face and then proceeds to dry hump the Scarecrow.
All the way to climax.
All the way to climax.
If I only had a heart.
Yeah, so it's yeah, that was memorable. I was like,
yeah, that was yeah.
I was like, okay, Pearl, I get you missing your hubby.
Yeah,
but this
you didn't have to go this far. You can just.
This is the opposite of the Mandalorian. This is not the way.
This
is not the way.
My other scenes. Well, I talked about the end credits. And then that this is a memorable scene. Just that death meal of all like the molded stuff and the maggots on the rotting and like who makes this?
Like maggots are always like one of the grossest things. Like when you see maggots, I'm like, oh.
And they're moving. It's like that. Somebody had to put those there.
Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah. Now,
whose job is that? Whose job was it? That's all I have for like memorable scenes.
I got a couple more to throw out here. When she's rolled him out to the dock,
dude,
and she's talking with him like she's about to dump him. She's about to make a deposit. She's about to feed Wally Gator another meal.
Was like, come on, man.
She's like, I love you, Daddy, but this is no way to live. I'm like, oh no, shit! Like she gonna do it again? That tension that they build up, which is similar to X when Maxine is swimming in that lake and that gator's behind her, and you get that overhead shot.
Yeah,
and just in time she gets out. I'm like, okay, the gator tease.
Yeah.
There was also when her mother first just lays into her. She doesn't. That's not. Well, she does end up hitting her, but when she goes into that monologue of telling them that she's not going to succeed and that why she thinks she's better than her, and when she just goes in on her, and it's just the acting is excellent, but it's like you kind of feel bad for Pearl because she is kind of trapped there, but she is also like, hey, this is like your lot, but the mom she's putting in the work and she's got that strong German accent and. Yeah, it's like, this is just a bad situation, like for everybody, man. And so then after, like the dad doesn't move much. Like he's so sick. He is like almost paraplegic. He has to be fed. He has to be changed. He's like non-functional, but his ass wakes up once it gets dangerous, and I crack up at his oh shit face that he has about halfway through the movie. Once he starts seeing the stuff that Pearl's doing, he's like, he knows how to be scared, like that fight or flight. That's like that just cracks me up. Like, oh, he ain't that sick. Yeah. I was like, man. Yeah, but that just cracks me up.
It is hilarious.
And then of course just Pearl getting told no at the audition.
Yeah. That was fair. That was interesting.
Yeah. And her wailing. She is wailing outside of the church.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh man, this is bad.
Yeah. And that poor routine that she has is
when she started off, I was like, you didn't practice. Girl, you did not practice, girl. You're too busy humping the projectionist and should have been running some lines.
Yeah, she and maybe that's a theme as well, is just kind of like delusions of grandeur. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's like a good one.
It's like, and that's also Hollywood's full of those people. You know what I mean? It's like you don't really have any real talent. You know what I mean? Or you haven't been working on it. And
exactly. This is not as like, these people are so good they make it look easy.
Yeah.
Anybody in their profession, they're so good they make it look easy.
Yeah.
And so whether you want to act, whether you want to dance, whether you want to play a professional sport, the greats make it look easy.
Absolutely.
Which I guess can fool some people. Oh, I can do that.
Yeah. I mean, and if you're an attractive person, mostly, women, at a certain age, you got like a window where you can kind of capitalize off that. And it's also a trap. You go to Hollywood, think you're going to be in these movies and you end up in another movie.
Whoa.
Hello.
And this film kind of epitomizes that because the projectionist, you want to see a movie you've never seen before?
Yeah.
And he literally is showing her early smut.
Yeah, early smut.
It's like, yes. I'd pay to see you in these. It's like, oh man, he was gonna, potentially take you to Europe and whore you out, basically. Like, yeah.
Hey.
So I mean, it wasn't gonna end well for Pearl.
Which is kind of like a callback to the character in X.
Absolutely. Yeah. Totally. I'm like, man, like the parallels between the two. I wonder if Maxine will let us know why they look so much alike. That's what I want to know. And here's another question. Because Pearl mentions that she was happy when she lost the baby. She was pregnant at one point and then lost it. I assume it was a miscarriage, something like that. But she mentioned like something like clinging to her. So I was like, was the child born and then died? But they don't make that totally clear. But what if somehow she was left at a fire station or something like that, and then picked up by these evangelical preachers who raised her?
You got a point.
This is her. What if this is her daughter?
You got a point.
No, she'd be much older though. She'd still be way older than Maxine's age. Yeah. Anyway, just I was thinking out loud, but I am curious why they look so much alike. Aside from the same actress playing both roles. Aside from
it's very simple. It's the same actress.
And then lastly, the last scene I'll mention that was very memorable was just Pearl's confession when she tells Misty everything that's going on.
Bro.
And it's that long take. Again, that's impressive. And then Misty's reaction of trying not to be totally freaked out.
Yeah, she's horrified.
I gotta go home. My mom worries.
It's all that scene is always funny to me. Like when somebody's like terrified, and then that little silence where it's like, hit the all right, it's time for me to go. Yeah,
but here's the other thing. When Pearl comes, like, okay, Misty's gotten out the door and walking away. And then Pearl Pearl's body language when she walks out, because she's just like straight killer mode. She just walks out and just like, and just grabs that axe like, and just starts walking towards her. She's not even running.
It's like these long strides.
And it's just like a view to a kill. Like she's not with like, I'm just going to hack you to pieces.
She's power walking with this axe as Misty tries to run in her high heels.
Oh, it's a piss.
Misty's never run a day in her life.
It is the most piss poor run. I'm like, do you realize your life is on the line?
It don't matter. She has never done this before.
She's got, I'm like, oh, child, I'm like, okay. I was like, okay, and she's gonna fall in 3, 2. There it is. Like I was waiting. I was like, she is definitely going to fall. Not only is she incapable of running, she is going to fall at that. And sure enough, she did. I was like, yeah, you gotta die. I'm like,
stop
that. You got it. Yeah. But Pearl coming out of the house, grabbing the axe. It's just the way that it's framed. I was like, dang, I don't know. I wasn't rooting for her, but I wasn't actually rooting against her in that moment. Especially once I saw Misty trying around, I was like,
it's like a workout.
Nope.
Come with it.
But yeah, I don't know. That stood out to me. I was like, because she just looked like Terminator, like just hi ho,
power walk,
hi ho. It's off to kill. She goes like, oh man, this is a wrap. Yeah, but those are all I had for memorable scenes.
That's funny. Tropes.
It's horror, and it's always going to bring the tropes. So I got a few here. I've got the strict mother.
Yeah, I said the same thing. Overbearing parent that drives you to kill.
I've got the sick, like the sickly family member.
Oh. We have the capitalist, which is a callback to X. I don't necessarily know if it's a trope necessarily, but maybe it's a trope in this trilogy.
The X universe.
Yes.
Porn being seen as the future.
Yeah. We're going back to that. So I guess, they weren't really tame. They was going at it. We see early porn, illegal, kind of like, what are they called? What the underground films? What are they called?
Stag.
They
call them Stag films.
The underground film, and then in the 70s becoming more of the forefront, and then
direct to market.
Yeah, and then now going to I'm assuming Maxine is going to be in the 80s.
Oh yeah.
So it's 5 years later. So it'll be in the 80s. So kind of seeing where the porn industry is at that time.
Yeah. Yes, sir. And then I said the shooting star after the wish.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's dark. The hell? Like, This is not a good shooting star. Where did this star come from? This is a Death Star.
Yes, a Death Star.
Oh no!
Stop.
Oh man. And of course I have the white chick wants to run and falls.
Yeah, I mean that is the trope.
That's classic. Absolutely classic. For horror wise, one more I think of, the evil character or the killer talking with their dead family members.
Ooh, yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, or just interacting with let me rephrase it. Interacting with the corpses of dead family members, whether you want to talk about, Psycho or
Jason.
Yep, exactly. Friday the 13th. Yeah. Yeah, agreed.
Oh. Quotes. If only they would just die.
Pardon? Pearl. Nothing. Yeah, they got like, excuse me? No, nothing.
I was like, yeah, she should not talk to anybody. She just lets it all out. While they were waiting to perform for this trope or whatever, traveling troupe.
Sure.
Like, I don't know, of dancers. Her sister-in-law was like, how are you not scared? And then Pearl's like, I guess I'm just used to the feeling. Like, this girl's a little psychopath.
Sure. Life doesn't always turn out the way you expect. You need to be prepared for that if you ever want to be happy.
Yeah.
Mama.
Dropping bars.
Yes, sir. If she wants to be happy.
I like when the guy is describing why Pearl didn't get the role, he's like, we're looking for someone who has the X factor. Kind of putting that theme out there. But basically, they want a blonde. It's like, all right, we got enough brunettes. We need a blonde.
And he says, yeah, we're looking for something more all-American, younger, and blonde.
Yeah, and keep in mind, Pearl's background, she's German. Her parents are German, so that's like her descent.
Yeah, that's, and when you think about that, well, no, this is still World War I that they're fighting. We're talking 1918. Yeah, it's just still, so Hitler's not even on the scene yet. We're not even talking like Aryan blood kind of stuff.
Right.
But yeah, basically saying everything you're not. You're just running the mill. You think you're a star, but we've got dozens just like you.
Yeah.
And younger.
Nope.
So, but then so when you hear that, and then when you find out that Misty is the one who actually got the part, which I think we kind of knew, like, okay, Misty,
one of the only blondes there.
Yeah, and like, okay, it had to be Misty. And they finally do address it, and Pearl's like, I'm not gonna be mad. Lies, lies.
Yeah, man. She's just got the eyes. Like, she knows how to tune into the devil frequency.
Yo. But all that calls back to X. Yes. When she kills Brittany Murphy's character.
Dang, I forgot her name already.
When she, me too. When she pushes her into the alligator stew, and Harold's like, "Was that the one you wanted?" And she says, "You know I don't like blondes."
Yeah.
I was like, "Whoa, that's ties it all together."
Boom,
right there. Another quote. This is by the projectionist. It's hard to know who anyone is nowadays with all these masks people are wearing. I was like, okay, we getting a little what's the word? Meta. I was like, that was a very meta line, but very appropriate.
When Pearl is when she gets the hard no next, she gets denied.
Hard pass.
She's like, no, I'm a star. She's crying. I was like,
so awkward.
I was like, this little thing doesn't lead to where you're trying to go with this, going from church to church, and it's not gonna. No.
She would take it.
Yes, she could take whatever she could get.
She's like, okay, step one, just get out of town.
Yeah.
And she has literally,
by any means,
murdered her way up to this point. She already set her mama on fire.
Yeah.
She has suffocated her pappy.
Man.
She has stabbed through the head the only guy who was, nice to her.
Yeah, and he was horrified when he got to see her house. Like, wait a second,
that pig is such a metaphor for the rot.
Yeah.
Inside Pearl.
Yeah. They just left it outside like that. Like, come on.
But even the mom not wanting to accept it, I'm like, y'all are short on food. Man. You could hear it when Pearl's talking with Misty in the barn, and the mother's talking with her I don't know, with the.
Which is interesting that they're short on food because they got chickens. Maybe Pearl is killing all the animals. That's the reason why they're short on food because they got a whole They got milk. You can get cheese any time of the day. You got someone that can lay, one of the animals laying eggs over there. I mean, there's food. Y'all got this corn. You can eat corn every day.
Well, she did mention that the cow had gotten really sick.
Ugh.
And then couldn't like produce like it had before.
Oh, I didn't catch that one.
Yeah, I remember. She told the projectionist that she was introducing him to the cows. She was saying the names. She said, "Someone got really sick, and so we couldn't whatever." Nah.
Unbelievable.
But there's another quote by Pearl. I wish you wouldn't look at me like that. I think she said that to the projectionist after he kind of after he started getting creeped out by her in the barn. He was like, he even told her like, you're scaring me.
Yeah.
You know, you're creeping me out. And he was just honest about it.
He was like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. And she was like, I'll see you later. And she's like, when? He was like, when? Were you ever going to take me to Europe?
She moves fast.
Yo. She's like, I know you're lying. I feel things deeply. It's like, bro, you better run. You turning your back, sauntering to your car. You need to be in full dash mode, man.
This lady needs answers.
But you know, when he got to his car and like you know she was tracking behind him.
Yeah, she's pretty quick.
And then he looks and nothing there. And then she's on the other side. Pitchfork to the head. It's like, oh man. That was pretty well shot.
Yeah.
Like, ooh.
That was good.
Oh, she actually gets him in the chest first.
Yeah, she hits him with that chest. It's like, oh, he's bleeding out on the ground.
Master of the pitchfork.
Yeah, she's
Pearl. Flawless victory.
Absolutely.
Then this is one last quote from Misty. This is like, I think when they're both sitting there waiting for the audition, she's like, some people just think they're God's gift, but they always get what's coming to them eventually. I was like, ooh.
She pre-shot on her own death.
Exactly. That's well, see, I thought that was really for Pearl.
Oh.
I thought that was like she gets trapped on the farm.
Yeah.
Like not able to escape. Because I mean, Misty's not bad. She's just she even
living her best life.
Yeah, and she even invites Pearl to come along to this audition.
You can't be nice to serial killers.
That's good. That's good advice, Reginald. For all y'all listening out
anytime.
There. You know the serial killers. Don't you be nice to them. And don't turn your back. And stretch first in case you got to run.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't be sauntering around these serial killers. Get from him.
Oh man. Do you have any questions for our filmmakers?
You know, I thought I did. I had thought that the name of Pearl's husband, for whatever reason, I had a different name in my mind, but then I went
Howard.
back. Yeah.
I started remembering some of these characters' names because I'll read the subtitles now. I have the subtitles because sometimes it's low, and I've discovered that the characters' names are in my brain easier.
That makes sense. That makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
My niece likes to watch films with the subtitles on. Maybe I'll start doing that. But yeah, but I was thinking, for whatever reason, I thought his name started with an A. I thought it was like, I thought it was something else, like Andrew or whatever. Mm-hmm. But, and so that was throwing me off. I'm like, wait a minute. I was like, that guy's name was there, but I just went back and looked in IMDb under X. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it was Harold.
Is it Harold or Howard?
It is Howard. I'm still jacking the guy's name up. Yeah, so
it's kind of like how it was. I forgot what movie we covered, and I just gave up.
You used a totally different name. I was like, no, it's
I just gave up on that one. That one was.
Yeah, see, I put Arnold because I had the question. I was like, what happened to Howard, and when did she meet Arnold? So I thought when the
name gets stuck there, you can't get rid of it. Yeah, I don't know what it is.
I had Arnold in my head, and I was like, no, let me go back and finally look because we were talking. I was like, no, it is Howard. So Howard stuck with her through all that time, and at some point in time, he became okay with her killing. Dude, how many bodies?
My question is Pearl Christian? She prays to Jesus.
She does pray
after murder. After her parents are literally at the dinner table dead by her murderer herself, and she prays to God. Just asking.
Well, there have been people that have
rhetorical, I guess.
Slain plenty in the name of the Lord, but
I don't think she did it in the name of the Lord.
I'm not saying she did either, but
but what you're saying is true. People have killed specifically for religious reasons.
For sure.
This lady is just, she doesn't get her way, you getting murdered.
She's killing for her reasons.
Yes.
But still gonna bless the meal. Mm-hmm. After the fact. Pearl just ain't right.
Trivia. Do you have anything for trivia?
A little bit of trivia. So Mia and Ty, they created this whole backstory while working on X, and they wrote the script within 6 weeks.
Dang. I wonder how long it took him to write X versus Pearl.
I'm sure X took longer because Pearl's plot's pretty. Not that X
pretty
plot's super simple, yeah, but Pearl's plot is like okay.
It seemed like this X has a little bit more thought into every scene, every sequence.
Sure, yeah. Pearl is simple and it's spun out pretty quick. But I will agree. I think the style and the honestly the performances by the actors kind of carry through. But yeah, it's like I said, get in, get out, just to kind of give you an idea of what happened. Why she is the way she is, but kind of she was always that way, and finally just I don't know. It's like I say, you want to say she snapped, but no, she
always been off.
She killed more people before she failed than after.
Yeah.
At least as far as what we saw. Because she mom, dad, projectionist, they were all dead before she even got told next.
Next. There was after they shot X, there was a 3-week period of getting the art direction ready for Pearl.
Excuse me. They originally wanted to shoot Pearl in all black and white.
Good choice not to.
Yeah, and then they were told no by the studio, so they only have a few scenes that are in black and white in the film.
Good for A24.
Yeah, that would have been rough. Again, I'm not anti black and white, but sometimes this would have been much rougher if. I think they could have potentially maybe have done the Wizard of Oz thing where it started off black and white, and then at one point something happens and then it all becomes color.
It would have been cool if they shot it black and white, but they shot it with an older camera, so it looked officially authentic. It probably wouldn't have done as well financially, but at least it will probably be true to its time.
Yeah, but I think they did fine with going the route that they did.
This was the good move. That was a better move.
You got any other trivia?
That's all I got.
I got one more here. The owners of the house that they used for both X and Pearl, obviously they had to make the house look very old and dilapidated for X, and then they had to make it look new and spruced up for Pearl.
Yeah.
And the owners of the home, once they saw it after Pearl, they were inspired by it, and they were like, "Oh, no, we're gonna keep it like this." So they didn't have to do much to change it back.
Free paint.
There you go.
Now it's time for Filmmaker Tips. What you got?
Key characters and actors inspire additional works. So obviously, Pearl and Mia Goth's performance inspired them to create, out of X to create Pearl, and it makes me think of John Cena's performance as Peacemaker in the Suicide Squad, then encouraging James Gunn to then create the Peacemaker series.
Oh. Do I have any Filmmaker tips? When Mia is being interviewed for some of the behind the scenes stuff on the Blu-ray, her and Ty, they were talking about how this was just like a joke, or they were kind of like, yeah, it'd be fun if we could do something like that. But ideas kind of come from these conversations, and kind of when we did our film, that started out as a conversation, and it just grows and starts developing. You know what, this might be something.
There you go.
So just for just filmmakers, just if you have an idea, that little bit of an idea, to start kind of adding, what if this? Start asking questions.
Cultivate your creativity.
Absolutely.
Last tip I have is to double up on your resources. So they knew that they were in a specific place and time to shoot X, and they thought, you know what, we're already here in this place. We don't know when we're going to get a chance to shoot again because of the way the pandemic is going. Let's repurpose this property again and get this backstory and prequel in. So that was really smart of them to do that. And Mia had the availability as did Ty, and they made it work.
It's an easy yes too from the studio. It's just like, yeah, you only get $1 million again. Or how much was it? $3 million?
Yeah, $3 million.
Yeah, you only get $3 million. Make it work.
And they surely did.
Yeah, everybody gets their salary, and let's knock this out in a few weeks.
Yeah. So yeah, that all worked out, and of course, all this was shot in
New Zealand.
Yeah, in New Zealand.
I like it. I like it a lot. What do we? Overall, I would give this film 6.5, 7.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah,
agreed.
I would recommend it to people that are they like horror or some of the satirical horror.
Or if you're looking for just something like different from your usual horror film.
Yeah.
Because it definitely has a different slant to it. You don't. I mean, we've had the killer next door, but we typically don't go back to like 1920 something for that kind of killer. Yeah. So it's got a different vibe to it because of that, and then to have and it being a prequel of another horror film.
It's great. It's kind of scary when you kind of go back to these times and realize like what technology is not available, and you're like, dude, like you can kind of get away with murder pretty easily.
There's a lot of bodies. Okay? Yeah, there's a lot of bodies, and before everybody became paparazzi enabled, there was bodies. There are bodies.
No drones
everywhere.
In the sky. No local law enforcement having their cameras up.
No news feeds.
Nothing.
Like no 24-hour news feed or no, man. Like
if you're missing, you're just missing.
Yeah, if somebody didn't find you.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess people relied on dogs a lot.
You got a point.
Yeah, and get your scent and track you down. But also, people knew where they could hide a body, and oh man, yeah, that's just
it's dark.
Yeah, very dark.
What are we watching next time?
Next time, we are going to dive into the world of Quentin Tarantino. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, finally.
Yes.
And we're going to go and kick things off with one Jackie Brown.
Yes, and they can catch us where?
Facebook.com/Filmmaker Commentary. We're also on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher Radio, and Spotify. We're on Twitter. He is at Reggie Titus. I'm at KCG Smith 32. We're also on the gram at Filmmaker Commentary, where we post episodes every week, where you can find the link to listen. He is at Reginald Titus Jr. That's JR. And I'm at KCG Smith 32.
Until next time. Peace.
Respect.